So the common forms of compensation that we talk about in Ohio BWC is obviously temporary total disability is the big one, and then everybody's entitled, if you have an allowed claim, to pursue a permanent partial disability award after 26 weeks after the last receipt of comp, or the 26 weeks after the date of injury, whichever is later. One of the lesser discussed and talked about forms of compensation is what's called non-working wage loss. And what this is if your temporary total's been stopped and you have work restrictions, you could pursue something called non-working wage loss. And again, you have to have work restrictions because you have to be able to work or be able to try to work. Because the whole point of non-working wage loss is the Ohio wants you to get a job. So what needs to happen is you have to have work prohibitive restrictions, but that would not prevent you from working completely. This is an important one. Unless there's a reason that you don't have to apply to a JFS, you need to apply to Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services. And then this is a big one. And this is why non-working wage loss is, I call it the pedantic form of compensation. You have to do everything correctly to get this form of comp. You have to have the restrictions, you have to apply the ODJFS, you have to apply to the jobs, and then the issue is how many jobs you have to apply for. So if you're not working at all, then you really need to, I would apply more rather than less. I don't know, I would almost say if you're not working at all, I think you'd be safe at 40. You might be okay at 12, 15, but again, more rather than less. And then what you have to do is you have to document and save evidence of the job search, like the applications that you've made. And then you have to fill out a form, and a couple forms, or 3 forms, or 4 forms, and you have to send that to the BWC each week. And you have to do that every single week. You have to submit the proof of the applications you submitted, and you have to complete this form. And then even that might not be enough, because the jobs that you're applying for, are they done in good faith? So for example, if I'm trained to do, like I have a warehouse background working in Amazon warehouse, and I'm applying to be an electrician, that's not really in good faith unless I have electrician skills. If I know nothing about doing electricity work, that wouldn't be a good faith application, because I couldn't possibly do that job. So they're gonna, when this goes to a hearing, they're gonna look at everything with a microscope. And that's why I call this the persnickety pedantic form of comp, because it's analyzed and scrutinized very highly. But it's another form of comp you could pursue, so don't completely dismiss it.